And thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. First up tonight, the weather. After starting the week in the mid-90s, today brought much cooler temperatures and thunderstorms. In fact, red flag warnings expired earlier tonight. But let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out more about what's next. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, I think a lot more rain as we move through the rest of the night. A little bit of light shower activity, but well, overnight. I know we're walking a fine line here between night and overnight, but we are expecting more rain, more widespread rain, more heavy rain, and for some of us, enough that we're going to have some flood concerns. Notice out near Wenatchee, a little bit of convection, a little bit of thunderstorm activity. That's still continuing. Good news is, comes with quite a bit of moisture. Down to the south, you get out to, say, Lolo Pass over near Missoula. Tons of moisture coming down, losing a little of that convection. Getting a little regeneration north of Grangeville, heading up toward Orofino yet again, but once again, tons of moisture associated with this. Off to the north, they're starting to grow more widespread. And what happens as we move through the rest of the evening is we do wind up seeing more and more rain come out as that low pressure center kind of slides overhead. We wake up to widespread showers tomorrow morning, but it looks like more rain than thunder and lightning. And then that moves out as we get into the second half of the day. And then right back behind it comes another round of moisture as we get into the day on Thursday. Tomorrow winds up a bit breezy, wind gusts, but the good news is fire danger subsides as we get all of this moisture moving through.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Meantime, new tonight, a fire burning near Orofino is fully lined. That is according to the Clearwater County Facebook page. Despite being surrounded by that dozer line, the fire is still 0% contained tonight, and it's burning about 30 acres. The county says there are evacuations in place for people living in the Wixon Heights neighborhood, but they are expected to be lifted by the morning, they say. The Clearwater County Sheriff's Office is offering to escort people back to their homes in the morning. This is a developing story. We will continue to bring you updates just as soon as we get them. Well, just hours ago, a major improvement for the Oregon Road fire. All evacuations have been dropped in Spokane and Pend Oreille counties. This is the first time in nearly 2 weeks there have been no evacuations in those areas. Now people can start to clean up all that debris left behind. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk was at the community meeting tonight focused on safely managing debris. He reports tonight.
In a packed meeting tonight, people who lost homes in the Gray and Oregon Road fires were told they cannot just scoop up ash and debris and haul it to the landfill.
Is garbage, in this case debris, there's a system.
The first step in that system is an asbestos survey, a requirement for all demolitions in Spokane County, including fire cleanup.
These people lost everything. They don't have no money to pay for anything.
Spokane Regional Clean Air says even if a home was recently constructed, asbestos could still be present in some building materials since it has never been completely banned.
You can get it in your lungs. So it's a concern for yourselves, it's a concern for us, the garbage guys that are transporting, and it's also a concern for the landfill.
If the survey comes back negative for asbestos, property owners will need to show proof when they take debris to the landfill.
So when it comes to asbestos, there's going to be packaging requirements. And it's pretty strict how we have to follow these in order for us to be able to accept it. So each load that comes in, we inspect it, and if it's not done right, we have to reject it. We don't have a choice.
Between now and Thursday, damage assessment teams will be visiting hard-hit areas, collecting information to make a case for the state and federal government to get more resources. Sheriff John Knowles is asking property owners to be patient.
Now, I will say that our experience in the first 2 days, they were not warmly welcomed. And in fact, an armed confrontation with one of our teams. Folks, we can't do that. We cannot do that. They're out here to help you all get the funding you need.
In Riverside, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The status of the Oregon Road fire and Gray fires changes by the day depending on weather and crews. So here's what we know right now. The Oregon Road fire now 79% contained, but it's still burning at nearly 11,000 acres tonight. 400 buildings were burned, including 126 homes. Meantime, the Gray fire burning near Medical Lake is now 85% contained. So far, that fire has burned just over 10,000 acres and an estimated 259 structures. Level 1 and 2 be-ready evacuations remain in place at this hour. And over the past week and a half, there has been no shortage of inspiring stories coming out of these fires. Well, today, KREM 2 spoke with Justin Knutson. He lives in Elk and was trying to help as many neighbors as he could as that fire approached. But as flames move in, his truck died. He says he had no choice but to then run through the flames to try to escape. Now, fortunately, a woman noticed him, picked him up, and drove him to an ambulance. And today he described the ordeal from his hospital bed in Seattle.
You know, I don't want anybody else to get hurt, and I don't want anybody else to get, especially in a fire. Now that I've gone through it and I know what this is like to go through something like this, I don't wish this upon anybody.
Knutson suffered second-degree burns to 30% of his body, but he is expected to recover. He has yet to talk to the woman who saved his life, but he says he hopes to do that as soon as he gets better. Meantime, most students and staff in Medical Lake will return to the classroom tomorrow in the wake of the Gray Fire. Tonight, district leaders say the choice not to delay the first day came after feedback from families and thanks to the hard work of firefighters.
For some kiddos, getting into the normal of learning and math and reading are absolutely, you know, the way that they need to process and deal with what's going on. But for others, they're going to need some more kind of those social emotional type supports.
While school will start tomorrow, the district is allowing families to decide if they'll return Wednesday or if they need more time. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The man and woman accused of burglarizing an evacuated Medical Lake home during the Gray Fire pleaded not guilty to the charges against them today. 38-year-old Matthew Parsons and 37-year-old Diane Guerrero from Tacoma were arrested in a level 3 evacuation zone the Monday after the fire began. Deputies arrested the pair as they prepared to head back to Tacoma. They say they were dressed as firefighters at the time. They are set to go to trial coming up in October. A bat has tested positive for rabies in Spokane County. According to the Spokane Regional Health District, the bat was submitted for testing after it bit a cat. The cat has received veterinary care and is in isolation under the owner's control. This is the first rabid bat reported in Spokane County since 2020 and the 8th in Washington this year alone. You are urged to contact the County Health District if you come in direct contact with a bat. Meantime, a 21-year-old Spokane man appeared in federal court this afternoon for his alleged involvement in the January 6th insurrection. According to court documents, someone who knew Elliott Williams said they recognized him walking through the U.S. Capitol from CBS News footage. Documents show the FBI used facial recognition technology and compared it to Williams' Washington driver's license. Williams now faces multiple misdemeanors and petty offenses. He could face several years behind bars and more than $200,000 in fines. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. In national news, a deadly shooting at the University of North Carolina's main campus Monday killed a faculty member and prompted an hours-long lockdown. Thousands on campus barricaded themselves in classrooms and dorms while law enforcement evacuated each room looking for the gunman.
The shooting damages the trust and safety that we so often take for granted in our campus community.
Police released this picture of the suspect who they say fatally shot a faculty member, the only victim according to police. Authorities still searching for the gun used and the motive in the attack. Meantime, the Biden administration announced the first 10 prescription drugs that will be part of a new price negotiation between Medicare and major pharmaceutical companies. The medications that could now cost less range from those to treat diabetes to heart disease to leukemia. The Biden administration says this is just the first wave of negotiated drug prices authorized as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. It plans to add up to 60 drugs to that list coming up in the future.